HalleluYah Scriptures, the first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 32. And Adam and Hawwah remained in the cave of treasures until the seventh day. They neither ate of the fruit of the earth, nor drank water. And on the eighth day, when it dawned, Adam said to Hawwah, Hawwah, we prayed Elohim to give us something from the garden, and he sent his messengers who brought us what we had desired. But now, get up, let us go to the sea of water we saw at first, and let us stand in it and pray that Elohim will again be favorable to us, and take us back to the garden, or give us something, or that he will give us comfort in some other land than this one we are in. Then Adam and Hawwah came out of the cave and went and stood on the border of the sea in which they had thrown themselves before. Then Adam said to Hawwah, Come, go down into this place, and do not come out until the end of 30 days, when I shall come to you, and pray to Elohim with burning heart and a sweet voice to forgive us. And I will go to another place and go down into it and do like you. Then Hawwah went down into the water as Adam had commanded her. Adam also went down into the water, and they stood praying and besought Yahweh to forgive them their offense and to restore them to their former state. And they stood like that praying until the end of the 35 days. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 33. But Satan, the hater of all that is good, sought them in the cave, but did not find them, although he searched diligently for them. But he found them standing in the water, praying, and thought within himself, Adam and Hawwah are standing like that in that water, praying to Elohim to forgive them their transgression, and to restore them to their former state, and to take them from under my hand. But I will deceive them so that they shall come out of the water and not fulfill their vow. Then the hater of all that is good did not go to Adam, but he went to Hawwah and took the form of a messenger of Elohim, praising and rejoicing, and he said to her, Peace be to you. Be glad and rejoice. Elohim is favorable to you, and he sent me to Adam, and I have brought him the glad tidings of deliverance and of his being filled with bright light as he was at first. And Adam, in his joy for his restoration, has sent me to you so that you would come with me, in order that I might crown you with light like him. And he said to me, Speak to Hawwah. If she does not come with you, tell her of the sign when we were on the top of the mountain, how Elohim sent his messengers who took us and brought us to the cave of treasures, and laid the gold on the southern side, incense on the eastern side, and myrrh on the western side. Now come to him. When Hawwah heard these words from him, she rejoiced much, and thinking Satan's appearance was real, she came out of the sea. He went first, and she followed him until they came to Adam. Then Satan hid himself from her, and she saw him no more. She then came and stood before Adam, who was standing by the water, and she rejoiced in Elohim's forgiveness. And as she called to him, he turned around and found her there, and cried when he saw her, and beat his chest from the bitterness of his grief. He sank into the water. But Elohim looked at him and at his misery, and that he was about to breathe his last breath. And the word of Elohim came from the Shemayim, raised him out of the water, and said to him, Go up the high bank to Hawwah. And when he came up to Hawwah, he said to her, Who told you to come here? Then she told him the discourse of the messenger who had appeared to her and had given her a sign. But Adam grieved and explained to her that it was Satan. He then took her, and they both returned to the cave. These things happened to them the second time they went down to the water, 7 days after their coming out of the garden. They fasted in the water 35 days. It was altogether 42 days since they had left the garden. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 34. On the morning of the 43rd day, they came out of the cave, sorrowful and crying. Their bodies were lean, and they were parched from hunger and thirst, from fasting and praying, and from their heavy sorrow because of their transgression. And when they had come out of the cave, they went up the mountain to the west of the garden. There they stood and prayed and asked Elohim to grant them forgiveness of their sins. And after their prayers, Adam began to beg Elohim, saying, "O Yahweh, my Elohim and my Creator, you commanded the 4 elements to be gathered together, and they were gathered together by your order. Then you spread your hand and created me out of 1 element, that of dust of the earth. You brought me into the garden at the 3rd hour on a 6th day, and informed me of it in the cave. Then, at first, I knew neither night nor day, because I had a bright nature, so that the light in which I lived ever left me to know night or day. Then again, O Yahweh, in that 3rd hour in which you created me, you brought to me all beasts and lions and ostriches and fowls of the air, and all things that move in the earth, which you had created at the 1st hour before me of the 6th day. And your will was that I should name them all, one by one, with a suitable name. But you gave me understanding and knowledge and a pure heart and a right mind from you, that I should name them after your own mind regarding the naming of them. O Elohim, you made them obedient to me and ordered that not one of them break from my control according to your commandment and to the dominion which you had given me over them. But now they are all estranged from me. Then it was in that 3rd hour of 6th day in which you created me and commanded me concerning the tree to which I was neither to go near nor to eat from, because you said to me in the garden, when you eat of it, from death you shall die. But if you had punished me as you said, with death, I should have died that very moment. When you commanded me regarding the tree, that I was neither to approach nor to eat of it, Hawwah was not with me. You had not yet created her, neither had you yet taken her out of my side, so had she yet heard this order from you. Then at the end of the 3rd hour of that 6th day, O Yahweh, you caused a sleep to come over me, and I slept and was overwhelmed in sleep. Then you took a rib out of my side, and you created her after my own likeness and image. Then I awoke, and when I saw her and knew who she was, I said, this is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. From now on she shall be called woman. It was of your good will, O Elohim, that you brought a sleep over me, and that you quickly drew Hawwah out of my side until she was fully out, so that I did not see how she was made, neither could I witness. O Yahuwah, your goodness and esteem are awful and great, and of your goodwill, O Yahuwah, you made us both with bodies of a bright nature, and you made the 2 of us one. You gave us your favor, and filled us with praises of the Ruah Ha'Qodesh, that we should be neither hungry nor thirsty, nor know what sorrow is, nor know faintness of heart, neither suffering, fasting, nor weariness. But now, O Elohim, since we transgressed your commandment and broke your Torah, you have brought us out into a strange land and have caused suffering, faintness, hunger, and thirst to come over us. Now therefore, O Elohim, we pray you, give us something to eat from the garden to satisfy our hunger with it, and something wherewith to quench our thirst. For behold, many days, O Elohim, we have tasted nothing and drunk nothing, and our flesh has dried up, and our strength is wasted. Sleep is gone from our eyes, from faintness and crying. Then, O Elohim, we dare not gather anything from the fruit of trees from fear of you. For when we transgressed the first time, you spared us and did not make us die. But now we thought in our hearts that if we eat the fruit of the trees without Elohim's order, he will destroy us this time and will remove us from the earth. And if we drink of this water without Elohim's order, he will make an end of us and root us up at once. Now therefore, O Elohim, I have come to this place with Hawwah, and we beg you to give us some fruit from the garden so that we may be satisfied with it. For we desire the fruit that is on the earth and all else that we lack in it. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 35. Then Elohim looked again at Adam and his crying and groaning, and the word of Elohim came to him and said to him, Adam, when you were in my garden, You knew neither eating nor drinking, faintness nor suffering, leanness of flesh nor change, neither did sleep depart from your eyes. But since you transgressed and came into this strange land, all these trials have come over you. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 36. Then Elohim commanded the keruv who guarded the gate of the garden with a sword of fire in his hand to take some of the fruit of the fig tree and to give it to Adam. The keruv obeyed the command of Yahweh Elohim and went into the garden and brought 2 figs on 2 twigs, each fig hanging to its leaf. They were from 2 of the trees among which Adam and Hawwah hid themselves when Elohim went to walk in the garden. And the word of Elohim came to Adam and Hawwah and said to them, Adam, Adam, where are you? And Adam answered, O Elohim, here I am. When I heard the sound of you and your voice, I hid myself because I am naked. Then the keruv took 2 figs and brought them to Adam and Hawwah, but he threw the figs to them from a distance because they would not come near the keruv for their flesh that could not come near the fire. At first, messengers trembled at the presence of Adam and were afraid of him, but now Adam trembled before the messengers and was afraid of them. Then Adam came closer and took 1 fig, and Hawwah also came in turn and took the other. And as they took them up in their hands, they looked at them and knew they were from the trees among which they had hidden themselves. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 37. Then Adam said to Hawwah, Do you not see these figs and their leaves, with which we covered ourselves when we were stripped of our bright nature? But now we do not know what misery and suffering may come to us from eating them. Now therefore, Hawwah, let us restrain ourselves and not eat them. Let us ask Elohim to give us of the fruit of the tree of Chai. So Adam and Hawwah restrained themselves and did not eat these figs. But Adam began to pray to Elohim and to beg him to give him of the fruit of the tree of Chai, saying, O Elohim, when we transgressed your commandment at the 6th hour of 6th day, we were stripped of the bright nature we had and did not continue in the garden after our transgression more than 3 hours. But in the evening you made us come out of it. O Elohim, we transgressed against you 1 hour, and all these trials and sorrows have come over us until this day. And those days, together with this, the 43rd days, do not redeem that 1 hour in which we transgressed. O Elohim, look at us with an eye of pity, and do not avenge us according to our transgression of your commandment in your presence. O Elohim, give us of the fruit of the tree of Chai, that we may eat it and live, and turn not to see sufferings and other trouble in this earth. For you are Elohim. When we transgressed your commandment, you made us come out of the garden and sent a keruv to keep the tree of Chai, so that we should not eat thereof and live and know nothing of faintness after we transgressed. But now, O Yahweh, behold, we have endured all these days and have borne sufferings. Make these 43 days an equivalent for the 1 hour in which we transgressed. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 38. After these things, the word of Elohim came to Adam and said to him, Adam, as to the fruit on the tree of Chai that you have asked for, I will not give it to you now, but only when the 5,500 years are fulfilled. At that time I will give you fruit from the tree of Chai, and you will eat and live forever, both you and Hawwah, and also your righteous descendants. But these 43 days cannot make amends for the hour in which you transgressed my commandment. Adam, I gave you the fruit of the fig tree in which you hid yourself for you to eat. So you and Hawwah go and eat it. I will not deny your request, neither will I disappoint your hope. Therefore, endure until the fulfillment of the covenant I made with you. And Elohim withdrew his word from Adam. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 39. Then Adam returned to Hawwah and said to her, Get up and take a fig for yourself, and I will take the other, and let us go to our cave. Then Adam and Hawwah each took a fig and went toward the cave. The time was about the setting of the sun, and their thoughts made them long to eat of the fruit. But Adam said to Hawwah, I am afraid to eat of this fig. I do not know what may come over me from it. So Adam cried and stood praying before Elohim, saying, Satisfy my hunger without my having to eat this fig, because after I have eaten it, what will it profit me? And what shall I desire and ask of you, O Elohim, when it is gone? And he said again, I am afraid to eat of it, for I do not know what will befall me through it. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 40. Then the word of Elohim came to Adam and said to him, Adam, why didn't you have this trepidation, or this will to fast, or this care before now? And why didn't you have this fear before you transgressed? But when you came to live in this strange land, your animal body could not survive on earth without earthly food to strengthen it and to restore its powers. And Elohim withdrew his word from Adam. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve, chapter 41. Then Adam took the fig and laid it on the golden rods. Hawwah also took her fig and put it on the incense. And the weight of each fig was that of a watermelon, for the fruit of the garden was much larger than the fruit of this land. But Adam and Hawwah remained standing and fasting the entirety of that night until the morning dawned. When the sun rose, they were still praying, but after they had finished praying, Adam said to Hawwah, Hawwah, come, let us go to the border of the garden looking south to the place from where the river flows and is parted into 4 heads. There we will pray to Elohim and ask him to give us some of the water of Chai to drink. For Elohim has not fed us with the tree of Chai in order that we may not live. Therefore we will ask him to give us some of the water of Chai to quench our thirst with it, rather than with a drink of water from this land. When Hawwah heard these words from Adam, she agreed, and they both got up and came to the southern border of the garden, at the edge of the river of water a short distance from the garden. And they stood and prayed before Yahweh, and asked him to look at them, and for this one time to forgive them, and to grant them their request. After this prayer from both of them, Adam began to pray with his voice before Elohim, and said, O Yahweh, when I was in the garden and saw the water that flowed from under the tree of Chai, my heart did not desire, neither did my body require to drink of it. I did not know thirst, because I was living and above that which I am now, so that in order to live I did not require any food of Chai, nor did I need to drink of the water of Chai. But now, O Elohim, I am dead, and my flesh is parched with thirst. Give me of the water of Chai, that I may drink of it and live. O Elohim, through your mercy, save me from these plagues and trials, and bring me into another land different from this. Let me live in your garden. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 42. Then the word of Elohim came to Adam and said to him, Adam, you said, Bring me into a land where there is rest. Another land than this will not bring you rest. It is the reign of the Shamayim alone where there is rest. But you cannot enter into it at present, but only after your judgment is past and fulfilled. Then will I make you go up into the reign of the Shamayim, you and your righteous descendants, and I will give you and them the rest you ask for now. And if you said, Give me of the water of Chai, that I may drink and live, it cannot be this day, but on the day that my bane shall descend into Gehinnom, and break the gates of brass, and crush into pieces the reins of iron. Then I will, through mercy, save your being and the beings of the righteous, and thus give them rest in my garden. That shall be when the end of the world is come. And the water of Chai you seek will not be granted you this day, but on the day that my bane shall shed his blood on your head in the land of Gilgotha. For blood of my bane shall be the water of Chai unto thee at that time, and not to thee alone, but unto all those of thy seed who shall believe in me, that it be unto them for rest forever. Then Yahweh said again to Adam, Adam, when you were in the garden, these trials did not come to you, but since you transgressed my commandment, all these sufferings have covered you. Now also your flesh requires food and drink, so drink then of that water that flows by you on the face of the earth. Then Elohim withdrew his word from Adam, and Adam and Hawwah worshipped Yahweh and returned from the river of water to the cave. It was noon when they drew near to the cave. They saw a large fire by it,